I hope, oh wait, hold on. I need to make sure. Okay. Hi! I'm back. I'm so excited to be back. I don't know if anybody's here, but if you are, please say hi. Um, yeah, I'm back. I'm so happy to be back. And so I'm actually doing this stream today because I'm going to an event tomorrow. Like one of those, I think it's like a W3C event actually. There's a bunch of people speaking and I wanted to catch that. So I can't do a live stream tomorrow, so I'm doing it today, and then maybe I'll do a makeup one later in the week. Maybe, I'm not sure. But yeah, hi, I'm back. I don't know if anybody remembers me, but hopefully Cheryl will come here, and then I saw that Andrew responded too, and then there was also Swix. I don't know. That's how I pronounce his profile, like avatar in my head, like Swix. Um, but yeah, so I'm here. I got back on Wednesday night from 2 weeks in Europe where I went there primarily for a conference, but it was also my mom and my aunt's first time in Europe. So then I took that opportunity to kind of like take them. So the conference was in Bratislava. And so we spent 2 weeks going from Prague and then a little bit in Vienna. And while I was at the conference, my mom and aunt like kind of visited Vienna, and then we ended up in Budapest, and it was really fun. So and I'm really glad I got to do that with them, just because like, I don't know, they're the peoples that raised me. And I've been really lucky since I've graduated from college to like travel once a year, at least once a year, and see different places. I know they hadn't had that opportunity to do that, like raising us and my cousins. So it was really good to just kind of see these places and go around. And they set in a very intense pace. They're just like our first day there. Our first day was in like Prague, and then we it was still really great weather because it was mid-October, and so we ended up walking around just like all of the sites and like walking for 10 miles. And they're so funny because they're like, oh, we walked 10 miles today, it's so good. And the next day, like, I don't actually remember why, but like we didn't have the opportunity to walk as much. And they were like, oh, today we only walked like middle of the day, they're like, oh, we're only at like mile 5 right now, or like maybe late afternoon, they're like, oh, we've only walked 5 miles right now, so we need to walk more. And then like a bit later, like, okay, we're like 6 miles. And then at the end of the night, they're like, okay, we only hit 8 miles, so a little bit less than yesterday. and I was exhausted. I don't know. They're much more active and like fit than I am. Yeah. But yeah. So it was really really great. But when I got home on Wednesday night, I was like, yes, my own bed. Tea, this monitor, my boyfriend. Hey Andrew, thanks for joining. And Saint Pirelli, yes, yay for Vienna. I love Vienna. It's so beautiful, and yeah. Although I think when I went to Vienna, I didn't actually spend that much time in Vienna this time around, but I got to go to Vienna in May when I was there. There was a conference in Berlin I went to, and before that, I spent a few days in Vienna. It was really beautiful, but I actually think I preferred Berlin, because my friend actually told me to go to Vienna because she thought I would love it there, and I did. But I think and she told me to go there because I love going to cities to like look at their architecture and look at their art, and a lot of that is for inspiration. And I did really like it in Vienna, but I actually enjoyed the art scene in Berlin much more, just because I thought Vienna was like very classic, but Berlin was kind of edgy, and that was a little bit. I think that felt like a breath of fresh air after the 5 days in Vienna. So, hi Subu8491. Hi, yeah, hi chat. And Swix, thank you so much for joining. I don't know how to pronounce your name. All I know is that sometimes I get really confused with your name because I think that I'm like, I think that's me talking. um, and then I realize it's not me talking. But yeah, hi Swix. And then St. Frilly says, I don't fancy Berlin. It's edgy me. 3 edgy, 5 me. Yeah, I don't know. I was only in Berlin for the conference and I only snuck out for a half a day to go take a look around. So maybe it's just that I spent so long in Vienna and like I felt like I kind of, like I felt like I got a decent understanding. Okay, not, I mean, 5 days is obviously not, like, you obviously can't go through a city in 5 days, but like I felt like I kind of got a feel for the city, whereas like for Berlin I only had half a day, so maybe it's just me wanting to go back and explore more to kind of get a better understanding. But I felt like Berlin just had so much, I don't know if the word is like spirit, but it was just kind of it yeah, I don't like yeah. um but so it says, yay, happy dance. I swear I'm not trying to pose as you. I've had to. No, I'm not saying that. It just, it was just, no, I'm not saying that at all. But, you know what? And you've had that name for 10 years, and I've only had it for, I think I made my handle in like 2011 or so. So I've definitely not had it for as long. And Andrew says, I gotta find a way to get to Europe. Yes, please. Yeah. It's been great. And then I'm actually out to Japan in, let's see, there's a conference in Tokyo on the 23rd or 25th. Maybe it's 25th and 26th. So I'll be going out there, I think I'm going there. So I'm like visiting my parents first, and then I'm flying out morning of Thanksgiving. And then I'll be there for 1.5 or 2 weeks or so, and I'm really happy about that also, just because I love Japan. And I'm going there with my boyfriend's sister actually, and we're gonna go for like a week and a half. We're gonna go Tokyo and Kyoto and Osaka, just like all the main staple places, and I'm pretty excited to kind of like show her all of the places I really like, and yeah, and just eat lots. So that would be my final trip for the year, and then I'll get back, and then hopefully it's a little bit calmer for the holiday season. And Andrew says, you gotta finish this biz soon because Oathbringer comes out in 9 days. Yeah, and I'm really sad because I don't think, like, I've been going back and looking at like Brandon Sanderson's website once in a while to like see like status for his SF meet and greet, and I like, maybe I'm just not a big enough fan, but like I haven't been seeing the details, so I haven't gotten like tickets, and I feel like at this point it might be a bit late. Yeah, so I really wanted to go to the meet and greet, and I knew there are like some other people that were gonna go, so maybe I should be asking them, but yeah. There was another thing I was gonna say. So I'm gonna hold off on reading Oathbringer until I go off. Like I like reading books when I'm on trips, especially because like there's like the like 12 hours on the plane where I can't really do anything else other than like read or code, and sometimes like watch a movie. Which, by the way, I watched The Circle on the way back from, I guess that was Budapest, or like, so on the flight back, I like finished some reading, and then I finished coding, or I guess I coded. I worked on this one for long enough that like my laptop died at 2%, and then I was like, well, I guess I have like nothing much else to do now, so like I went through the movie list and I was like, oh, I'll watch The Circle because I love Emma Watson, and I like went into it fully knowing what everybody has said about how shitty it is, and I was like, okay, I'll see how shitty it is for myself. It was like, it was over the top and corny, and like, but also at the same time like really chilling in a really creepy way. Like I just felt all of these like creepy crawly feelings going down my spine, and And then the ending, I was like, what the fuck? So yeah, that's how I felt about it. But anyways, yeah, so I think I'm not gonna read Oathbringer until I get back on the plane at the end of this month, especially because I have a client project due in like a week and a half to 2 weeks. So I want to be heads down on that, and then as soon as I finish, then I can probably get started on Oathbringer, for which I'm very excited. So, let's see. And Swix says, could you not plug in your laptop? I thought aircraft seats have PowerPoints to plug in these days. Yeah, some of them do, and I love them. It just so happened that this one that I flew on, I think it was like Swiss Air, and it was like a tiny bit an older model, I think, so they didn't. But like I think some of the like newer aircrafts these days definitely have like something you can like plug in. I was like desperately looking around my seat for it, and it was not there. So, and then I was like, well, it's probably a good point to stop anyways. There was like exactly 2 hours left in the flight. But yeah, so that's been me. So Murajabi says, just bring printed books with yourself on the plane. No, I actually read. I like reading on my phone, because I like to travel light. So then books kind of actually get pretty heavy in my backpack. So I usually read on my phone. And I've been reading this book called Work for Money, Design for Love. And it's a book about this person that went freelance, I think maybe 10 years ago, and all of his lessons as a freelance designer, which is really great because even though I'm not a designer, but a lot of his lessons apply to me. And I'm like, why didn't I read this like a year ago or a year and a half ago when I started freelancing? Because like life would have been so much easier for me. But I guess I like to do things the hard way. Yeah, but I was reading that on my phone, and then I was like, oh, I just need like a mental break. So that's why I watched a movie that I fully admit I didn't need to watch, but I like both Emma Watson and Tom Hanks, so I watched it. But that plot was, yeah. Anyways, and oh, really? On the phone is hardcore? I didn't know that. No, it's okay. Marajabi, no, it's okay. Is it just like an accidental copy paste of the link? Okay, so I'm gonna get started. Wow, that was a lot of updates. I just spent like 10 minutes, 15 minutes talking about my life. Anyways, back to the project. So, yeah, okay, so a lot to talk about, I guess, because the last time I streamed, I think you guys had like seen the very first version of this little bar chart where it was really ugly looking. So what I did since then, I don't know if I have a screenshot of that. Maybe I don't. But what I've done since, which is a lot, because I had 2 weeks off from the live stream, but I've been working on this on the side still. Oh, and I decided that there's no fucking way that I'm gonna be able to finish this project by now, because her album comes out in like 5 days or something. So I've decided that I'm gonna give myself a new deadline, which is December 13th, which is aka her birthday, aka my birthday, and that'd be really cute. Aka also when I released my Hamilton database a year ago. So it'd be like, I'm like, maybe from now on I'll just like release things on my birthday, and it'd be like, yeah, I don't know if that's, yeah, anyways. So I don't think you want 10 hours about my life updates. There is something that I've been like holding in, and at this point I don't know why I haven't announced it publicly, but I don't know, it's nice to keep something to myself. But so yeah, anyways, so the last time I had live streamed, we had drawn these bar charts. It was really ugly and I was really sad. And what I had done since then is, first of all, I was thinking to myself, and I realized that the reason why the bar charts were really ugly was because I was literally taking, so in terms of the data, there's so much to explain. Okay, hold on. In terms of the data, what I had was the color information for every 5 seconds that I took a screenshot. So like if you can imagine, for example, like for a song like Love Story, I had like 40 or so screenshots, and then I took out all the colors from there, which I guess probably was around maybe 50 colors or so. And then what I was doing was for this bar chart, and this bar chart is basically the colors for the whole song aggregated together. And I was essentially just showing every single one of those, like let's say 50 colors per frame, 40 frames, 2,000 colors or so mapped as a bar chart, and it looked really ugly, and it didn't really give me any sort of thing that I can latch onto as insights. And then I realized that what I need to do is I then take those 2,000 or so colors and then run the same clustering algorithm on it that I had previously, so that like I can take those 2,000 colors, which already had two pieces of data, one being the color, the RGB, and also the quote-unquote size, so how many pixels were that color, and then run another clustering algorithm that kind of like then took, those 2,000 colors and then clustered them together for the whole song. So then that came out to be about like maybe 180 to 200 colors, and then the number of pixels for those colors for the entire song itself. And then that's how I got the bar chart. Now looks a lot more like actually meaningful. So like you can actually see the colors, and I was pretty happy with this. So that's the first part. And checking the chat. Afraid Knot? Wait, is that? Afraid Not. Oh, that's cute! Okay, anyways. I like how it was like knot? What's a knot? It says, is this where I learned to get good at programming and stats and aesthetics? I don't know if this is the place, but I'm just kind of telling you what I thought. Andrew says you have the gateway message just kind of floating in the middle of your screen. Whoa! No, I can see that now. Do you guys know why that is? Hi, Cher! Hello! I can see that in my... So, I don't have it on my... Oh, I think I know what it is. Okay, I know why that is, and that thing is what I use to... So, I use a service to tell me, and sometimes when people follow me, and I guess maybe the link is broken, so I'm going to hide that for now, and I'll fix that either during a break or before the next time around. But that should take care of it. And thank you so much for letting me know, Andrew. And yeah, it should be, yes. So I had an overlay URL, the follower alert thing, and now it's gone. Thank you so much. Okay, so I just explained. Okay, so these bar charts, which I very much enjoy now, and then the next thing I did was I wanted a heat map kind of thing for two reasons. One, because I wanted a heat map to show me so, and by heat map I mean like I think I think I wanted the heat map to be the x-axis is the hue. So like from I think from red to like green to blue to red again. And then I wanted the y-axis, so the rows to be, actually I should be saying rows and columns, sorry. I wanted the columns to be the hue, the rows to be, I wanted two different kinds of heat maps. So the important one to me was I wanted the rows to be songs, and then I wanted the opacity of each cell to be the frequency of that color in that song. Tell me if this sounds completely convoluted, because this one, at least, I have a screenshot that I can show you of how miserably it failed, that idea failed. So I think that's like one of the things that I want to make sure to like, there we go. Okay, so I guess it wasn't a total miserable like fail, but biggest lesson about making data viz for me is like I'll have an idea, I'll do it, and then it'd be like expectation versus reality. Reality always sucks. So this is kind of what it ended up looking like. And let me see. And then so Afra-Ona, I'm interested in catching up on how you've gotten to this point. Yeah, so it's I have it, the GitHub repo is like my GitHub/Tay, and all the code is on there, but I haven't documented like all the in-between process points or something. This is my documentation on what I've done since the last live stream. And no, you get to see my, Swix is like, I never get to see your failures. No, you see my failures all the time in our data sketches vlogs, like all the time. I like chauffeurisses. Yeah, so this is a heat map, and so you can see like the hues and the songs, and this is kind of interesting. Like you can see that, like, you know, she has the oranges all the time, and that's like mostly just her skin tone. And then it's interesting that like she always, like, she's, you know, had the blues, and then now down here there's like that big concentration of blues, and then her red album, she uses a lot of red, obviously, but like I didn't find this to be extremely interesting. And I thought that the more important thing was to kind of see let me see, I did a lot of experiments. So I thought the interesting thing was actually how much darker her songs have gotten over the years. Like you can see, you know, starting here, like some of them are quite dark, but like for example, our song is really bright and like Picture to Burn. And you can see at the beginning, like her songs are still kind of bright. And then I just want to show you her like most recent songs. Like, look at that. Like, so I wanted to show, like, I wanted to see if there's any change in like lightness, darkness over time. And then I think that's why I did this one, which did not turn out as well. So I think this one is really convoluted, where, yeah, so it goes from dark to light, and then it has, I think, like 8 different hues in like one of these buckets. Yeah, not a good idea. It's like super confusing, and it doesn't really show anything meaningful. And I still have the problem of like, of course you can't see the light ones. Like, wait, hold on. Let me try and explain this as best as I could, which is like, if I'm going to use opacity to denote the frequency of that color, it kind of doesn't work when I'm trying to also show the frequency of like dark colors versus light colors used, because yeah, because light will always, the lighter colors will of course always look like it's 0% opacity, and like the dark colors are like, yeah, so it was stupid. It did not work out. And then I was like, Nadi, what should I do? And she gave me some like suggestions, and like, but this was like I was in an airport, and we were on Slack. Like I was on Slack on my phone, and I'm like, she's like giving me, I'm sure, brilliant suggestions, and I'm like, I have no idea what you're talking about. So then I got on the plane, and this was all on the plane. And then I tried this for songs themselves. So like I tried to do this heat map, and then I tried to apply the heat map to each of the songs. So the heat maps for songs are essentially the same idea in columns, but the rows are each of the frames, so they're like 5-second screenshots. And I was like, oh, and this one is this one's actually from dark to light, and all of the hues, like, no, this is not good either. And what was this? Yeah, also not telling me anything useful. And and then I ended up just doing the small like bar charts. And that's where I am now for like the summary. So this is, I wanted to have like a summary view where I could look at all the songs at a glance, and then be able to, and then I've also put them together into her albums. And so that's what I wanted to, like, I wanted to have this summary view. Do you want to be in the background?
Nope.
Okay. So I want to have this summary view, and so that's what all of these heat maps have been about, but they failed, and so I'm back to this. But I do have an idea today, and that's one of the things that I want to get to if I'll stop talking, is for the summary view, I'm thinking of something else, and then I'll talk about it in a little bit. But Afraid Not says, if this is a database failure, any graph I've ever made should never see the light of day. Again, no, please let them see the light of day. Especially because I think letting them see the light of day is, like, first of all, I don't know, I just really like all of the feedback I get when I let them see the light of day. But also I think it's really important to like share everything we do, just to show, like, so I think if I've learned anything from data sketches, it's like that sharing what I consider to be failure, like what I've made that I think are failures. And I'm not saying like these are failures from like even the aesthetic point of view. When I say that I think something is a failure, I think I'm saying it from like a visualization perspective of like, I don't think this actually tells me something meaningful. And that's what I mean when I say that they're failures. I think some of the failures I've had are actually like quite aesthetically pleasing, and I'm sad when I like don't use them because like they're like, because they shouldn't be used, because they don't present the information in a meaningful way that I want to get across to the reader. Cher says electric current running DNA across a gel. It's how you sequence DNA. So this is not sentiment analysis, this is just colors. Color composition for music videos. Yes, you're right. Thank you, Swix. So how I chunk the colors. So how I chunk the colors, I think, is my very first tswift live code. So you can actually find it on my YouTube. So I think I wrote that code in. So if you go to, this one, yeah. So if you go to this one, the very first one, my very first week, this is where I used the clustering algorithm, and it's called clusterfuka. So I very much enjoyed saying that. And then, so FMMPEG is what I used to take a screenshot. Thank you, Afrona. And yes, nice to have Nadia on call for data viz help. It's always very nice. Yes. Thank you, Swix. And Afraid Not, I have no idea what you're talking about. It's me looking up things for machine learning via Google. Oh my god. Yeah. I feel like machine learning is one of those things that I'm like, maybe I should be like getting more into it, and then I'm like, nope, I'll stay in this corner of my world. So, okay. I'm almost done with my catch-up. So, this was, and so this is what I've ended up with. this is my bar chart, and this is my heat map. And this heat map, again, each row is 5 seconds. And I think the biggest trouble I was having is that I wanted to use opacity as the frequency of the color, but then again, that doesn't help with the lighter colors. And then the reason why I like tweeted about how brilliant I felt on the plane is because now if you hover over it, the bar chart shows the frequency. And then I also now have the actual screenshots playing. And I thought I was fucking brilliant. Yeah, so this is the latest. And now you're all caught up on all the things I've done in the last 2 weeks. Yep. Thank you so much. And today, what I want to do is a few things. Okay, I have a mental list, and let me try and remember everything. So the first thing I want to do is, yes, so I want to have proper annotation. So I want to have proper annotation where, you know, on the side, I want to denote where is the 1 minute mark in this heat map and the 2 minute mark, etc. Now I think about it, I should probably, I haven't quite figured out the layout of the things I want, and this is definitely not what it's supposed to look like in the final. I'm still kind of in the exploration. Like, I do a lot of, like, I sketch things out and then I code it and then I use that to explore and then I kind of figure out what I want to say in my final article. So this is still kind of in the exploration phase, but I think this is basically, this is the kind of pieces that I'll have in my final, but just I won't have, let's say, like, for example, all of the songs or anything. And I need to also figure out the layout of each of the songs because I don't think I want it all to be stacked on top of each other like this. Oh, but let me share with you some of the fun things, the really fun things I feel like I found. So, like, it actually amazed me that Picture to Burn and Love Story is so heavily on kind of like the yellow and green spectrum. Like, you can see there's like no reds or blues. And then there's a song in here called 15. Look at that. There's whole section is it's just completely reds and oranges and yellows. And then you can see when, so I think it's really cool that like this heat map is showing me when the scene changes. Like, I can kind of at a glance almost guess how many scenes she has. So this is the first scene, then this is the scene change, so second one, and then this is the third one. And like you can almost see that there's a small fourth one. And then there's like others like this one, which is just her singing the whole time and this like with her band. And that you can see there's no, it's like all the same, I guess, environment. And so you can kind of see that too. Like, I think this one, it's a little bit harder to tell, but like here's the first scene and then here's her second scene and then third scene. And then she changes a little bit back and forth. There's like a fourth scene or so. And then there's the last few. So I'm really happy with how the heat map turned out. Yeah, so I want to annotate this more with like 1 minute mark, 2 minute marks, etc. I want to, when I hover over it, I want to like outline the row that's being hovered over, so you know exactly, so it's like easier to see. So those kind of two like small things for this. And then I'm not sure if I'm going to do this today, but I also want to, you can see right now that the bar graph, I don't have any animation, like I don't have any transitions. And I think it might be fun to put in like animation transitions for like when I'm hovering and switching between different frames. So that's the second thing. And the third thing is instead of the bar charts, I was thinking to myself that actually maybe what would be good is a bee swarm plot. And so let me show you. Let's see. Oh yeah, thank you. So let me check. I'm trying to read the. There you go. Thank you. So yeah, the screenshot part. I think the screenshot part is quite integral. So and then because that's kind of like the thing that ties all of the colors back to her music videos, right? And so it's a side project. I wish I'm getting paid for this. If anybody wants to pay me for like a music, like Taylor Swift music video colors, but I don't think I have a client. I don't know anybody that would want to pay me for this kind of thing, other than probably the pudding. So I actually was considering asking Matt from the pudding. Let me plug them again because I love the pudding so much. So they have, they do these kinds of visual essays, a lot about kind of like music and pop culture and sports, some politics. So they do a lot of these visual essays, and I really, really love them. And I was actually even considering asking Matt if he wanted to like sponsor or like if he wanted to buy the project and put it on pudding. But I decided against it just because, like, I think I like the pudding a lot, but I think, I guess, I think it'd probably be nice to start putting it on my own website and then see if there's any traction that happens that way. I don't know. Maybe I'm, like, completely wrong, but yeah, so this is completely a side project. I'm doing this on top of my client projects, and I'm like getting a little bit freaked out because I have like half a talk to prepare for the conference in Tokyo that I haven't started preparing for. So I'm like, after I finish my client projects, I hope I have enough time to finish. Like I have to do like a 2-hour workshop for them too. So I'm like, I hope I have enough time to prepare for all of that. So let's see. Yeah, so Freyd Not says, I was just wondering what client needs an in-depth analysis into T-Swift's music videos. Dude, if there is such a client, I want to know them. I would love to work with them. So Cher says, that's really cool. You can kind of tell if there's a story behind being told about the video and what kind of contrast there is between the scenes. Yeah, and that's the reason why I'm so happy with the heat map. Like, look at this. Like, when I first saw this, without seeing the screenshots, I was like, I wonder what's going on in this, like, really bright spot. And it turns out it's Taylor Swift on a bed of red roses in a red dress. That makes a lot of sense. And then this is her in her really bright blue dress. So, like, once I know this, I know that this is probably her in that same blue dress. This is probably that same blue dress, too. And it's just really cool. So there's a lot of things here that I need to try and figure out how to kind of like put it together into an article that's meaningful. The scene change thing is really cool. Thank you. Really, the Netflix Defenders show. Luke Cage is yellow, Daredevil is green. Oh, yeah, the printing is really, really cool. So you should, yeah, if you're interested in this kind of stuff, they're definitely really worth checking out. Okay, so, and the last thing is, oh yes, and I was saying, bee swarm plot. So this is what a bee swarm looks like. And then, the way I'm thinking is one bee swarm per song. And then, the x-axis, I actually want that to be the lightness. And then each dot is a color. Although I'm trying to decide if I want to size the dot according to the frequency of that color. I'm not sure yet. And then, is there anything else to that? Yeah, I guess that's it. And I think maybe that will help me achieve, oh, and then they're of course stroked, like with a black stroke, so that like even the lightest colors you can see that exists. So I hope that that will give me a very good summary view so that I can see at a glance if there's any trends in terms of like, if like her you know, if there's any trends in the different colors that she's used in her songs over the years, or if there's any if it's changed in terms of saturation or lightness or any of that. So that is a stretch goal for today, but considering the fact that I've already talked for 40 minutes, I think maybe today we'll only get through the kind of maintenance kind of things. So, but hopefully we'll get through those. Okay, so this is my code for my histogram. So my code right now is in app.js, and then within the app.js, for each of these videos, I have a video component that just kind of like loads in the histogram and the oh yeah, I should stop saying bar chart, histogram, heat map, and takes care of the hover to show the screenshots. Here's the and then I have the histogram and the heat map components. So today what I need to do is for each of the heat maps, I want to put all of these visualizations are currently in Canvas for performance reasons, and I think I want to put a SVG layer on top of the heat map histogram, or sorry, the heat map canvas, so that I can put in the annotations and put in the like kind of border around the ones that were hovering. So yeah, let's do that. There's the history heat map, and then Free Not says, I know a data scientist who works at a video game company who loves Taylor Swift. He might get a kick out of this project. Yes, please share it with him. That'd be awesome. I am always looking to, I don't know, talk to people that love Taylor Swift. Although, in my head, I have to like separate them out a little bit. Like there's Taylor Swift the musician and there's Taylor Swift the person. And like in recent years, I'm not quite sure how I feel about Taylor Swift the person. Not that like I'm saying she's a good or bad person, but just like because of the like all the shit that's been going on in the media, and you just never know what's real and what's not. So like there's this that I don't know how to feel about, but then there's Taylor Swift the musician, who I really absolutely adore. And then there's also Taylor Swift, the business person. And I think she's like super savvy business person, PR person, or either that or she has a really great PR team. But the musician, I don't think she's the most talented singer by any means, but I love her lyrics. I love her as a lyricist. And I love just like how much she, I guess, like has changed herself over her career. So yeah. And then Cher says, people keep DMing me asking me for the code for that boomerang from Lantern Fest. Yeah, wait, didn't you say that that's actually a video? I was actually more wondering, one, if it was real or coded, and two, if it was real, where it was from. But I feel like you responded that was actually real. But I like that people are asking you for the code. Yeah, and as for Taylor Swift, like, it's a real video I took of lanterns floating into the sky, the Lantern Fest, yeah. Which is really beautiful. The Lantern Fest. Where is that? That's so cool. So this is Cher took a really gorgeous video of this festival. Locations. Oh, there are different locations. Ooh. Oh, because you're from St. Louis. I want to go to one. Anyways, I'm gonna get back on track. Yeah, I feel like, anyways, okay, let's actually code. Okay, so putting an SVG SVG, and so I'm putting in SVG. And so this one I was calling container, but now it doesn't make sense to call this container anymore, so let's call this the canvas. Let's call this the SVG. Width is equal to this dot props dot width, and then height is equal to this dot props dot height. And then up here, this dot refs dot canvas, and change you to, sorry, canvas, just to make sure there's no more of them. Yes. Oh, see, good thing I checked to see if there was any more of them. And then, oh, okay. Aborted because heatmap.js is not accepted. What? Unexpected token. Oh, okay. This is gonna work? Okay. Oh, and eventually I need to make the like initial data calculation part more performant, which probably just means I need to like, oh, so I've been looking more into web workers. By looking more into web workers, I mean that I read one page of documentation and I like saw some things that Sam Saccone put out. That's what I mean. Yeah. But for this one, I think I don't think I need to use web workers. I think I just need to offload the initial data calculations into just like a, I don't know, actually, I do. Okay, now I'm mumbling. Never mind. Moving on. So this dot svg is equal to d3 dot select this dot refs dot svg. And then what I want to do with the svg is if there is something that's been hovered, then make a border around it. So let's do it this way. Component did update. No, but the whole point why success, please ignore this in the chat. No, the whole point why I love live coding is for the chat. So I will not ignore the chat, but yeah, but I will focus more on the code. Okay. Render hover. Okay, and then render hover. And just in case, render hover. And then I need to, from video.js, pass in if there's any time something's been hovered. Oh yeah, there we go. So, oh wait, no. Okay, hold on. This is, hover row is this is the function. And then now I also want a hovered row. I'm not very great at naming things, but that's okay, maybe. Hovered, actual data of row hovered. Yeah, because that makes sense. Okay, so now I have that. And I can say, I'm gonna just for now say console.log this.props.hovered row. And let's see. Yeah, cool. Okay, so it's, I like how I don't remember. Okay, so hovered row is not the data of the row that's hovered. It's the index of row hovered. And so const hovered row is actually equal to this dot props dot data, I think, of this dot props dot hovered row. So, and then, do I even need that? I don't think I need that. I think all I need is the index, because, yeah, I take it back. All I need is actually the index. Hovered index. You know what? All I need to do is draw a rectangle. What am I doing? Okay, so this dot hovered hovered rect is equal to this dot svg dot append a rect, and it's normally display none, but if this dot props, okay, so then if there's nothing that's been hovered, then this dot hovered rect dot style display none, so keep that hidden. Return. And then otherwise, if there is something that's been hidden, then I want to give it the correct coordinates. So that should be this dot hovered rect. First of all, let's show it. Just lock. Wow. And then, so for rectangles, I need to give it x, y with height. So x is margin dot left dot adder y. So that's the one where the row matters. So this dot, oh, okay, so then I need to, so this is the cell height. I realize at this point that I should probably just, because I've just been like copying this over to every single new function that needs it, and I should probably just like, yeah, wait, let me do that. Okay, this dot color height is equal to, and then take this out. Now instead of color height, I can say this dot color height. So this is, yeah, so this is the cell height. And I can delete all of these now. And then, and I also need it here. Okay. Okay. And now this dot, so I want it to be this dot color height times times this dot props dot hover row plus margin dot top. So that should be the, yeah, the Y position. So the top, so that should be the top left corner of where the rectangle should start. And then width should just be the whole width of the heat map minus margin dot left minus margin dot right dot adder height is just the cell height. And actually I should also give it dot, so when I create it up here, I should also give it a fill none so that it's transparent, fill, and then adder stroke, just a 333, or maybe should I 111, I don't know, dot adder, and then stroke width, maybe a 2, and let's see how this turns out. Okay, whoa. Do you guys think I should start from the basics of JavaScript, learn from the videos? Do you guys think I can just jump right into D3? Swick says, hey, please start with the basics. And he says, reason is when you run into problems, you'll be fighting with whatever it is, a D3 error or a JavaScript error. I completely agree with what Swix is saying. I think the thing that makes D3 hard isn't necessarily the library itself, although D3 does have a little bit of a learning curve at the beginning, but the thing that makes D3 hard is that it relies on you knowing so many other things to start with, like you knowing JavaScript and how it works, just the basics of JavaScript. It relies on you knowing HTML, knowing CSS, knowing SVG, and so even if it doesn't make sense at the beginning of why you want to like learn those or teach yourself that, it would make the learning curve for D3 so much easier if you do kind of like, even if it doesn't, because you don't have the context, it doesn't make sense at the beginning of like why you're teaching yourself all of those things. Once you start teaching yourself D3, it will make a lot more sense, and you'll go back and be like, oh, okay, so that's why like that thing about JavaScript with that thing about SVG made so much sense. So Swix says basics is equal to you can do everything in Westboss JavaScript 30. It's a free course. You guys are so awesome. Thank you so much. Oh, did the video just die? Okay, so I'm still on F5. Okay. Cher says, for someone who's already well versed in HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, it was pretty easy to start working with it right away. Yeah, so Subu says, when you say knowing JavaScript and how it works, could someone summarize that? Thank you. I'm gonna keep going with this. Line 78. Oh, okay, so it's just this I don't need anymore. Thank you so much for being so awesome in the chat. Okay. So, oh yeah, look at that. So it's working, except I just need to I just need to bring that up. So let's see. So that's just because I just need to position absolute my SVG to be on top of the canvas, and then we should be golden. So style is equal to position absolute, and then top is 0. And then in the parent div container, say position is relative. And that should work. Well, welcome back, Swix. Okay, so I also need to say left is 0. That would be nice. And then that should work. I don't think I like the black, but it does here now. Let's see what it looks like when it's actually working. It's not working. It's not working. Left is 0. Is it like happening up here now? Where are you? SVG is right here. Rect, fill none. Is, oh, of course. Okay, now I need to say so many things. So now that the SVG is right on top of the canvas and I have a mouse move event on the canvas, yeah, it's like blocking. So things like this, right? Like, yeah, so things like this are like, it's nice to know, like, if you have a bug, it's nice to know, like, is it not working because of, like, is it because of D3? Is it because of JavaScript? Is it just because of, like, CSS? Or, like, so, I don't know. Yeah. So now I have to say pointer events none. Yeah. So that the SVG is on top of the canvas, but then I'm going to be like, ignore any pointer events to the SVG and just like, yeah, let the pointer events go directly to the canvas. So, what's done is done. Hey, welcome back. I'm so happy to see everybody. Quick question, what's the viz showing the color frequency over time for tswift videos? Cher says, Yeah, so the heat map is the rows are the rows are every 5 seconds in the video. Share understanding the basics of the programming language, such as objects, variables, function chaining, and synchronous and asynchronous programming. And I could not have explained it better than Cher. I love you, Cher. That was a very public confession. Yeah, but I learned so much from Cher. I was oh, I don't know if you listened to the front end happy hour episode that I was on recently, Cher. But I was talking about like how much I learned from just like my Twitch live streams, and then I mentioned that like I learned the difference between let and const from Cher and a few other people, and then they were like, "Oh, Cher is so great," which, yeah. Anyways, yay! Okay, perfect. And I love. Okay, so that's awesome. I love that this is okay. So this looks great, actually. And I don't know if you guys can see this, but there's a tiny bug where the first one is not being, like I'm not drawing a rectangle around, and that is because I just did bang this dot props dot hover row, but of course when it's 0, that will identify as false, so I should say that is, do I make it null or undefined? Null, okay. If it's null, then display none. Otherwise, even if it's a 0, show the hover rect. Share. Let's see. Yeah, they were like, oh, can we somehow like fly Cher out to San Francisco, or like we all go to like St. Louis or something. They're like, if anybody wants to sponsor us. Perfect. Okay. Yeah, so this is working exactly as it should. Oh my god, I'm so happy. I don't know. Can you guys see? Oh yeah. Okay, you can see the hover thing going on. I don't think I quite like the black, but I think that's a minute detail I can fix later. Okay, so that was pretty straightforward. Draw black rect around covered heat map row. Okay, the next thing is the annotations, and for that I'm going to use D3 annotations, which I absolutely love. Do I already have that? No. Okay. So this is D3 annotations by Susie Liu, who I think is really brilliant. And it basically makes doing annotations really easy on the web, like doing things like this. Like, oops. Cause, yeah, look at that. So like, traditionally, if we wanted to do annotations, like that's an SVG circle that we would have to draw. That's an SVG like path, SVG text, and we have to calculate the positions of all of those. And then we have to like, tell the path like all the, move to here, line to here, line to here. And then because Susie is so fucking amazing, she went and made this library where you just pass in a bunch of like, metadata, and then it draws the annotations for you. So I'm so in love with this. She released it in like February or something. And it's changed my life. I think D3 annotation and Greenstock are like two things I learned this year that have changed my life. So let's go and grab this. That Git workflow. What? Hey. Hello, Neo Zero. I have a Git workflow. I'm so confused now. Okay. Anyways. Oh, do you mean my package JSON? this is just, I use Create React app, which like saved my life because I don't really understand build systems that much. Not that I'm proud, not that I'm proud of that. I'm very much not proud of that. But before Create React app, I was like, damn, I need to go learn build systems. And then after Create React app, I'm like, yes, I don't need to. I mean, D3 SVG annotation. So, okay, so while that's loading, you can say import. I think what I need from this one is, this time around, I think I just need a very simple like line that spans the whole like heat map horizontally, and then I think, so she has these options, I think, yes, perfect. Wait. And then I just need my annotation to say like 1 minute, 2 minutes, etc. Align. Ooh, she has all these different options. I think this is the one I want. And so that's the most basic annotation label. So I just need to go and get myself, I think, annotation. Yeah, so I need to get myself annotation and an annotation label from D3, from D3 SVG annotation. So, I know, yeah, U0, D3 is very cool, if you have the time to check it out. If you ever need data visualization, well, if you need just like a basic visualization, then you don't need D3. But if you want something that's like highly customizable, D3 is really great. So for my local host server, it just create React app, and that, I think they're using, yeah, they're using Webpack underneath the hood, and I just do like npm npm start, and then that just starts up a local host for me. And then I'm currently at, okay, annotations are draggable. Yes, yes. So she has like an edit mode where you can drag it around, and I never use it. But I don't know. She's brilliant. So you can actually, if you download this and use this, she has an edit mode that you say true, and then what you can do is like once you tell it like the basics of what you want the annotation to be, and then like the edit mode will have it such that there's like little things you can drag around, and she'll tell you the exact positions. So you can just copy and paste that metadata over, and then that's how you use, and then you turn the edit mode off, and then you have your annotation. It's really great. Yeah. So, okay, npm start again. And for annotations, so because what I want is, okay, so I'm gonna say render annotations. And so what I want this to be is for it to be every minute I want to create an annotation. And so there are a few pieces I need, which is one, the data to create the annotation. So this is kind of like what it looks like. So the actual annotation data, and then so then here I use the actual annotation library, and so here's the edit mode. You say true, and that you can and then you can use that to drag things around, and then you also need, so you need to instantiate her annotation library, and then you need a container that you're going to create the annotations into. It kind of works a lot like a D3 Axis in that way. So let me, before I even create my data, let me go and create first the container, so this dot annotation container is equal to this dot svg dot append g dot adder as annotation group, and then I also want to be able to create. So here, let me create this dot make annotations is annotation dot type is just the basic annotation label that I passed in from here, and then I think that's all I'm going to create for now, because I need to think. This is how I draw the X and Y, and then this is where I pass in my annotations data. So I don't need to do that just yet. Okay. Now in render annotations, so okay. Bye, Freydnot. Yeah, thank you so much for joining, and best of luck with the coding. And okay. So first of all, I need to create annotations for every single time there's a minute. So let me console log my data. So that should be of course nothing's going to show up because I haven't called render annotation yet. Actually, that should be above the hover rect. Okay. And this dot render annotations and so I think if I remember my data structure correctly, yeah, so each of these, okay, so I think I'm just going to assume, let's see, how should I do this? Okay, so each of these are supposed to be 5 seconds. So then what I can do is, does that mean for, hold on, math is hard right now. 5 seconds, so 12. Every 12 of these, I was about to be like, so for every 20 of these is a minute, and I was like, wait, sorry. For every 12 of these, I need to make an annotation saying the time. So I believe what I'm going to do is, so const annotations data is equal to times this dot props dot data dot length. Actually, maybe I'll say const num annotations is equal to dot floor this dot props math dot floor is fine. Actually, yeah, math dot floor is fine. This dot props dot data dot length divide by 12. So num annotations, and then maybe I should put in like, okay, so now for each one of them, so I just need to give it a note. So the note is this part that says like the text. So the way I want to do this is I want my, okay, wait, I have to think about this a little bit. Hold on. So okay, so I think I'm supposed to pass in, yeah. So I can pass in an X and Y, which is like kind of the subject part. So the point at which it starts. And then I can pass in either a dx, dy. So like, So I think I actually just, let me just do this. So return the note. I want the note to say label the I times 5. No, wait, hold on. Wait, no, just I. Minutes. Yes. Okay, because each one of these, I told it how many annotations, and each annotation is 1 minute, so I can just say I minute. Yeah. And then X should be basically this is my left. Yes, the left hand side to start. So that should be my margin dot left. And then my Y should be the I times 12 times this dot color height, and then my dx should just be this dot, because I wanted to span the whole heat map, so it should be this dot props dot width minus this minus margin dot left margin dot right, and then my dy is 0 because I want it to be a straight line. And then is there more things? Ooh, I want a note padding, so you can give it a little bit of a note padding, I think. Yeah, so I'm gonna give it like a padding of like 2 or something, so that there's like a little bit of space between the edge of the heat map and where the text starts. Yes, I think this is correct. I feel like my Y calculation isn't 100% correct, but we shall see. We shall see. Okay, so this is the data, and then once I have the data, I can pass it. I first want to pass it into my make annotations dot annotations data, and then call that onto the container that I made, the D3 container I made prior. This dot make annotations, and if this all works, this may or may not work. It does not work. Minus, that's because that would be minus. Sue says, I've been trying to keep up with what's hip in the web industry, and for a while it was like there was a new JavaScript framework coming out every weekend. Is there not anymore? Because I stopped, like you know how there's the curve for adopters, like there's like the early adopters, and then there's like and then it like then there's like the masses. Like I'm like the masses. I'm like, I don't want to try out this new technology if there's like a likelihood that it's not going to like be widely supported, and then I have to like take it back out of my project. So I'm like definitely in the masses. So I stopped like paying as much attention to like what's going on over here, where it's like a new tech coming out every day. I only pay attention to the ones like that really took off and everybody's like raving about, which is why I think soon I'm probably gonna try and take a look at Vue. But it seems to have settled lately on React and Angular. Oh, I can't understand almost anything, but this looks really cool. Having physics flashbacks with the hand axes. I totally think about JS frameworks in terms of adoption curve. Yes, yeah. So Cher says Angular not really that popular, just in like the JavaScript community. Right now it's React and Vue. Yeah. So I think that's my experience right now too. Ooh, okay. Can you guys see that? Let me do something where const svg style. So you probably can't see it that well, but here's the annotations, the 0 minutes. Can you see it? Can you see it? Let me like zoom in. Oh, ho, ho, ho. Yeah, look at that. I need to, so the 0 minutes and 1 minute and 2 minute. I think I need to give it a +1 here. Wait, hold on. Let me finish what I start. So, style, so SVG style. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to say overflow visible. Let's see. Overflow, I think it's overflow visible. So overflow visible, just so that you can see that like the 0 minutes and 1 minute, etc. is getting cut off here. The all of that is getting cut off, and then if I say visible, then it should show. Though, oh, I forgot to do. Okay, many things to fix here. So first of all, I want to do +1 because right now it's drawing from 0, and then it's not drawing my last one, the 3 minute mark. And plus, what I forgot to do is do this margin dot top. And then actually I think then it'd be correct. And then I also need to position the annotation correctly. So oh, thank you so much, Dalaric. Thank you so much for listening to my reactive talk. And then as for inspiration for these hobby projects, I don't know. I think so the way that I like to think about it is there's the client projects I keep as a freelancer, and I'm really lucky that for a lot of them it's very, very interesting. But the way that I like to think about it is client projects are where they come to me because I have a specific skill set and they want me to apply that skill set to what the projects that they have. But I always also see a lot of really interesting technologies come out, interesting applications. Just like people are always doing really cool shit with the things like either on the internet or like, you know, physically, like with physical builds. And so like these side projects or hobby projects are basically a way for me to experiment and kind of teach myself and like explore all of these new technologies that are coming out and see like what I can do with them. Also, I have this thing with my friend Nadi called data sketches where we choose a topic and we visualize it. And so this Taylor Swift one is actually part of data sketches. And so so it also means that like not only do I do these for a hobby for fun, it also means that I'm actually like accountable to Nadi to finish these projects because we have this data sketches going on together. So that's and that's for inspiration. I think it really depends on like when sometimes I'll be like, oh, this thing is interesting, or like I'll see a data set, either a data set or no, I'll usually like come across a topic and be like, oh, that's really that's really interesting. Like, where can I go get the data? And then, yeah, that's usually how it goes. For the Taylor Swift one, it's because her album is coming out soon, and I'm like, yes, I need to do something with this. Let me check the chat really quick. Let's see. Hi, Helix Studio. Thank you so much for joining. I'm really sad today that I don't have my like the follow script working, because then the cute little corgi doesn't come. Oh no, it's not a corgi. The cute little cat doesn't come up. And okay, so let's see. Okay, so now you can see the annotations, and the positioning is a little bit incorrect. So let me play around with that. So I think that is let's see. So I think maybe it's the line that I need to do. No, I think the line type vertical. maybe it is the line type. How do I get it to, because right now it's below here. Actually, this is kind of just fun in general to see. Most of her songs are 3 minutes. Whoa! Okay, Change is 4 minutes long. So most of them are a little bit over 3 minutes. Except for 15 is also 4 minutes long. I wonder if there's any trends in terms of like if her songs have increased in length. Nope. Okay, I think that's not an important one. Okay. So how do I get it? Ooh, there we go. Okay, so it was orientation. So orientation, you can have it either below, below the line or to the side of the line. So that's orientation left, right. Perfect. I love this library. Okay, so now that I have that, I can say orientation left, right. And then I just need to style it a bit because it's really big. Wait, what? Huh, X margin. Oh, margin dot top, yes. Why did I? Thanks, Cher. Yay! Yes! Okay. I'm feeling pretty happy about this. So padding of 2. Maybe padding of 2 is like too little. Maybe padding of 5. So like what I'm talking about is the padding between where the text starts and where the like heat map ends. So maybe 5 would be better. And then let me also, let's see. I think, yeah, so giving it a little bit more padding really helps. Let me also make each of the lines and texts into black. So, I think to do that, I want to do, Okay, so select all the text and make that outer fill is so almost black. And I think I also want to make that text smaller. Shay says you got really excited before you finished typing. I do that all the time. Yeah, I get really excited with like what I've finished, and I'm like, it's gonna be great, and then it doesn't work. So for Helix Studio, I am doing a visualization of. I just realized that I haven't updated the title for my stream, so I am doing and it still says that I'm traveling for a conference. So I am doing a visualization of all of the colors in Taylor Swift music videos. So, okay, so style, font size, 12 pixels, 10 pixels. What do I have? Do I have any other text in here? 10 pixels it is. And then this dot annotation container dot select all the paths and make that into stroke 111. I feel like I'm going to really regret hard coding the 111s. Yes! Oh, interesting. Okay, so I actually also wanted to align center. So, yeah, I wanted to align middle. Yes. So, orientation left, right, and then align middle. And you are not aligning middle. Why? Y. So custom, no, align middle, orientation left, right. That should work. Okay, that's okay. I'll figure that out later. Yeah. Cool. So I put in the annotations and let me commit this. I'm kind of really happy with how this is turning out. Okay, so I added, add D3 annotation and add annotation for every 1 minute in the heat map. Okay. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you, Helix Studio. Okay, so I think what I'm gonna do is, I think I'm going to take a 10-minute break because afterwards, when I come back, I want to do what I was saying before about animating these histograms. So I have to think about it a little bit. So I need to go refill my tea, pace around my room a little bit, and think about how I can animate these histograms. Like animate the height of these histograms. I think I started thinking about it a little bit and I was like, oh, my brain hurts, and then I stopped. And the reason why I have to think about this a little bit is because it's not in SVG, so then I can't just use D3 to transition. I mean, I can, but it takes more work. Yeah, I need to think about it a little bit. So I'll be back in 10 minutes at 12:50, and I will yeah, and then I'll get started on animating these histograms so that it's like a very smooth transition between each of the hovers. I will be back. So am back. Thank you for waiting. Or, yes, thank you for breaking. Okay, so before I left, Helix Studio said, why not hover fade in a white box behind them and increase its size so you can see each frame of color. I think I understand your suggestion, which is that on hover, I fade out all of the rest and then pick out just the one that I'm hovering over to like make it bigger. And the reason why I'm not doing that is because I have all of the like histograms of the colors in the bar, the like above it, so then you can actually see like the actual amount of colors above it. So I figure that that's good enough. I mean, I should probably make it clearer the relationships between them. So I'll keep that in mind. But I'm back, and I took a bathroom break and then paced around a little bit and thought about it. And then I think maybe the animation of the histogram or the bars are hopefully simpler than I think it is. Maybe, hopefully. Maybe. Because I want it to grow. So I think I want to animate it over like 100 or 200 milliseconds. So these bars, every time I hover over them, I think I want it to animate over 200 milliseconds. And then I think I want it to grow. Yeah. Which means I have a thought. Hi Radari, thank you so much for joining my stream, and yes, welcome to programming. It is a world of magic, mostly black magic, but it is a very exciting world. Actually, there's like one that there's like a comic thing that I saw a while ago that was like about programming. It was like the progress of learning how to code, and it was like the first week when you learn things and you're like, I'm a magician, I'm a wizard, I can do anything, and then like a few weeks later, like, and then it's like the caption is like a few weeks later, and it's like, I don't know how to do anything or something like that. And then like a few years later, then like that's or like a year later or something, and then you're like, he's finally getting the hang of it. I don't know. But I do love that like initial feeling of like, I'm a wizard. Like, you're a wizard, Harry. Yeah. Would you recommend programming for those looking to work for themselves? I feel like I should not be giving career advice, but I guess, do you mean like looking to work for like freelance for yourself? Or I don't think I should be responsible for giving this kind of advice. I think working for yourself has its ups and downs too, that are sometimes really hard, and I feel like freelancing itself, like working for yourself, has like a lot of challenges and a lot of learning curves that are really hard. And programming has a lot of challenges and learning curves that are pretty hard. So I feel like that's not something you should be doing at the same time. I think that's the only thought I have on that. Okay, animations. How do I go about doing this? Yeah, I think I agree with Subu that like I feel like I still need enough commercial experience by working for a company before going freelance. I think I absolutely agree with that. I definitely worked for a few companies before I went freelance, and like that experience of like learning from my coworkers and especially like mentors that were somewhat like, you know, years or like decades ahead of me in work experience and coding and all of that, I think were very invaluable experiences that like really help me now when I work for myself. Okay. Okay, thinking about animations. How to do this. So I think it should be in render data. So render data, which is not very well named because what I really mean is render these. Oh wait, no. So this is the heat map. Okay, now I am going to work on this histogram. Okay, histogram. Still called render data, so it's not that aptly named. But what I mean by render data is I mean render each of these bars. So what I'm doing is so each of these groups are the columns. Yes. And so each of the values in there are, you can probably see there's quite a few different colors in each of these histograms because they're all grouped by that hue. So this is the inner loop, and this is where I'm drawing things. So essentially I'm saying like, get the X value and then start the Y value. And then for each Y, like for each time there's a color, basically like, you know, shift it up by the, like what the color height is. So when I was pacing around trying to think about the animation, I was like, I feel like it may be as simple as, I'm going to regret these words. It may or may not be as simple as interpolating the height of each of these colors across 200 milliseconds. Oh, okay, sorry. Radari says, I guess my question is more oriented towards, will programming allow me to work my own hours and not live by someone else's schedule? Programming then says, got it. In that case, I would argue programming is one of your best options between freelancing and creating your own products. Programming opens up a new world for you. Yeah, I think that's quite true. But I mean, I don't have the perspective of any other industries. So, I think just between, like, I code, my boyfriend is a mechanical engineer. A lot of my friends are either programmers or a few of them are now residents in hospitals, or some of them are in finance. And I think just like looking at that spectrum of people, I think I definitely have the most freedom in terms of like going where I want, working from where I want, and not being tied to a particular office. Definitely when I was at a company, it was, I still needed to be in the office at least a good amount of time to be able to work with my teammates, but there was definitely a lot more freedom for like remoting from somewhere else, like once in a while, and that wasn't a big deal. Whereas like, for example, for my boyfriend, because he's a mechanical engineer, he's kind of tied down to a lab. So there's that. Yeah, so, okay. I need to figure out how to actually execute this. Okay. So, if I was using D3 and SVG, all I will have to do is just do like dot transition, dot duration, dot adder, and like whatever the attribute that needs to be animated. But now that I'm using Canvas, what I need to do is use D3 timer. And what it does is, this is it. So all it does is it uses request an animation frame that, and then keeps calling is the function itself, it keeps calling the callback function until we tell it to stop. Which means that what I can do is keep calling my callback function where I draw the where I draw the bars until it hits 200 milliseconds. Okay. So what I can do is say this dot timer is equal to Actually, maybe I want to render data. Let's see. Okay, I think I know what I want to do, which is, let's see, animate bars. And then here is render bars. And then this dot timer is equal to d3 dot timer. And then elapsed. And then let's see. Because I want my duration to be 200. Let me put my duration up here. Duration is equal to 200. So if elapsed is over the duration, then stop my timer. Else, so this is T. So else, keep rendering bars given elapsed divide by duration. So basically progress out of 0 to 1. And yes. And here I'm going to say animate bars. Animate bars instead of render data. Okay. So now nothing should show, or I think right now, yeah. Whoa. Oh, yes. Okay. Wait, what? Oh, okay. So my and I think every single time that I hover, I actually want to stop my timer and restart. Well, let me do that later. Okay, so now what I want to do is create a I have to think about this. Okay. So for each of the bars, there is the height that it starts at, which should be 0, and the height that it ends at, which is this height scale value size. And I want to make basically an interpolation between them, which is just a fancy word for I need to make some sort of a scale, probably a linear scale for each of them. So where should I make that scale? Wonder if I should just make it. Okay, so in app.js, when I first load all of the data, I calculate a lot of data up front. So maybe I can do scales here. I wonder how, I hope it's not too memory intensive to have all of these individual scales. But we'll see. Okay, so here what I'm doing is for each of the videos, I want to have a height scale. Oh, wait, hold on. No, hold on. I need to do it within the histogram because the height scale is in the histogram. So when I process data, what I want to do is go through all of the data that's passed in and give it a scale. Yes, I believe so. That sounds... Okay, we'll do that. I think scales are, D3 scales are pretty small in terms of memory usage. I hope so. I sincerely hope so. Okay, let's see. Go through each of the data. Props.data. And actually this is probably good because then it won't create any scales unless you need it. So it's on the fly. Okay. Props.data and then go through each of them. And object.assign d scale. So let's say animate scale is d3.scale linear, and then the range should be 0 to the height of that. So wait, hold on. Oh wait, these are this dot props dot groups. Okay, so it should be actually group, and then yeah, because it goes through the columns first, and then so group dot values value, and so that should be all I need. And then here, I think it just needs to go from 0 to height scale, value.size, so value, and then color height should just be value.animate scale, and then pass in t, which is the progress from 0 to 1 of the timer. And I think that should work. Why do I have so many? Okay, so the object assigns, and then each, okay, debugger here. And hopefully this works. Okay, so this dot props dot groups, and then there's 52 of them. Then values, animate scales. Okay, so there are scales, and then the range goes from, oh, I can't see. Well, I hope it works. Okay. Let me put a debugger here. My laptop is like really noisy right now, and I hope it's because of the live stream and not because of what I'm coding. So color height, let's see, animates value dot animate scale dot, so I can double check my range here. So from 0 to, oh, well, that's really small. I guess that makes sense. I'm gonna stop putting in debuggers and just see if it actually works. Nope, did not work. Let's see. Whoa! Whoa, it's kind of working. Look at that. But like there is an animation, it's just the height is incorrect, but there is an animation. A very slow one. Why is it so slow too? This is kind of cool. It's so slow. Wait, hold on. Oh, wait. Okay, I think I need a domain. Wait, I'm confused. But look at it go. Well, actually, hold on. I think I also need to, I need to stop the timer, if there is a timer. So every time you animate, so this was what I was mumbling earlier, stop, because if, for example, this animation is still going and I interrupt it, I want to first stop the timer and then reassign that, like restart the timer. looks like melting crayons, but upside down. Yeah. It's art. Can't you tell it's art? Actually, that does look correct. That looks correct. So why do the others not look correct? I mean, it's also, I think I wanted faster. 200 milliseconds seem to be way too... Okay, but the initial one doesn't look correct. Why is that? It also isn't as interesting as I was hoping for. Why is the initial one incorrect? Animate bars, process data. So process data here. This dot height scale, range height max, sum max, d dot sum. Wait. Why isn't that correct? Because if I... This isn't the effect I was hoping for either, I guess. Maybe I wanted to... This is not as interesting as I was hoping for. I feel like I say that every time. Oh, interesting. Okay, anyways. Whoa, do you see that? It goes up twice? Wait. Okay. So I do say, every time I move my mouse, but I swear I have a, if the hover frame is the same as, like if I'm not changing frames, then don't trigger. I swear I have that, so that shouldn't be happening. Okay, so many bugs to go through. Well, that's not what I was hoping for. Okay. Let me at least try and figure out why the initial height is incorrect, and then once I hover over them, the rest is correct, because that's odd. Why would that be? Okay. And let's also... That's very odd. So many things to fix. Console.log frame this dot hover frame. Let me fix the why. Why? Oh! Wow, I'm dumb. So it's this dot state dot hover frame, and it's hovered frame. I was like comparing, okay, I was doing the comparison between the frame that's hovered and the this function when I should be doing this.state.hovered frame. So now that should fix that one bug. I'm glad that fixes that one bug. It looks slightly more, so at least that looks correct. The animation is still not that interesting. Okay, now let me try and figure out the bigger bug, which is, why are things not correct the first time around? Okay. Let's try starting with Hey Sean! How are you? You came in right where I was like, why do I have this bug? I don't understand. And I've been like silent because I obviously can't debug and talk at the same time. Like my brain doesn't function that way apparently. But yeah, so I was thinking like maybe I should stop the live stream because I'm like, ooh, okay. What? Whoa, wait, hold on. I think I know. Wait. Oh. Okay, I think I know. Wait, but still confused then. Okay, hold on. Let me try and understand before I do anything. Okay. I'm still kind of confused. Wait. I'm confused. Still confused. Alright. Actually, I was thinking of ending it soon because debugging and streaming is, yeah, one of my worst experiences. So I think I'm gonna actually end it here soon. Okay. I thought it was gonna, but this animation is also not, I think it's also not as good as it could be. So I'm cheating a little bit because every single time I'm starting the animation, like basically I'm just growing the bars, but I think for animation that looks really actually good, I should actually be essentially seeing if, like, I should actually be first animating the old bars down and then animating the new ones up, I think. I don't know. I'm gonna go play around with this in my own time, and I think I'm gonna end the stream here. And then next time I'll explain, like next time when I figure it out, I'll explain. Ooh. Okay, so next time I'll explain what the bug was, and then I'll also hopefully explain what I end up doing with the animations. But yeah, so ooh, Cher has her flight to catch. Yeah, so actually I was saying I'm actually not streaming tomorrow, and that's why I streamed today, because there's a event I'm going to that's exactly the same time, so I'm not gonna stream tomorrow, but hopefully I'll make it up some other time during the week. If not, that's why I streamed today. So thank you so much for joining. Yay! It was super fun to be back and streaming and talking and the chat and then hopefully I'll stream a few more times before I leave for there's another conference I'll be gone for 2 weeks or so. So I will hopefully, but other than that, hopefully I'll see you guys a few more times. So thank you so much for joining. Bye bye. Yay! Bye bye.